Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you whenever you're watching. If you're watching live with me right now, it's 6:15 in Texas. It's really dark outside. I had to turn on my lights I normally don't use. It's just been dark and rainy and damp and yucky and for a couple of days, and I'm missing the sunshine. I was in California last week, and gosh, I'm missing it already. Hi, Amy. Glad that you're joining us live. Be sure, everyone, and put in the comments below. Just say a hi or whatever. Let me know something like hi or where you're watching from or whatever. And I will remind you to stay on tonight because everybody that's on here live has the opportunity to jump into a small group program I'm doing for 6 weeks for free. I'm going to draw one name. So I have my little app here called Riffle Raffle. Amy, I'm putting you in there right now. Good job being on here live. So I don't know about you guys, but everywhere I go right now, it's a interesting. There's pink and there's red and there's a little bit of purple and a lot of white and there's flowers. And even at Target, was it Target? We're at Kroger yesterday or Tom Thumb, wherever I was. There was really interesting balloon animals with Mickey and Minnie balloons because it's the love season. It's the love week, and Cupid's arrow sure is flying about everywhere. And I got to tell you, I don't know how I feel about that because seems like that puts out to the universe that someone else needs to buy you something to make you feel valued. Someone else needs to have a card and give it to you so that your self-worth feels better. Someone else needs to share how much they love with you. And I like that idea. I mean, but I would hope that we would share our love with those in our tribe, in our circle every single, hi Lexi, every single day and not just wait for Valentine's Day. So it got me thinking about how well are we living in harmony with our own selves? How well are we loving ourselves? So put all the pink and the purple and the hearts and the cards and the chocolate aside for a moment. And I just want you to kind of go with me for a few minutes, so we won't be on here long. But how are you living in harmony with yourself? It's a pretty big concept to unpack. That notion that you have to know yourself from all aspects seems a bit daunting, doesn't it, to individuals who suffer from self-esteem issues. Hi, Wendy. Glad to see you. So there's something about our self-love, and we kind of set that aside, or we often don't give enough time and attention to how we live in harmony and how that harmony extends out to people, to nature, to the universe, how things come our way. And so I thought it'd be interesting in this week to think about how we're living in love, how we're living in harmony with ourselves. So let me start by saying that I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with this concept. Implementing kind of harmony thinking into your wellness routine will really help you improve the quality of your life. And so I just jotted down a few things on how you can begin to align yourself towards harmony and love. So first, let's talk about what living in harmony actually means for yourself. I want you to think for a second about when you listen to a choir sing. What's the first thing that you notice? I mean, aside from beautiful voices and whether or not they're on pitch, usually, at least for me, it's the fact that they can all sing together so fluidly. And while each of the separate parts, the altos, the sopranos, the baritones, the basses, the tenors, all sound lovely on their own, when they put it together, that fluid motion just kind of sings into your soul. It's like their voices somehow become one and they sing from this unified position, and like all of the sound vibrations just change in that moment. When a person decides to live in harmony with themselves, to love themselves enough to seek harmony, they begin to bring all of those things in alignment, just like a choir. They choose to accept all the aspects of their personality. And Lord knows I got a lot. I got a big personality to love. Maybe you're feeling that too, but you begin to accept all of that. You let all the characteristics work together like that choir to create a beautiful sound, a unique person. And although it's easy for me to sit here and go, oh, we should all just live in harmony and love ourselves, it kind of sounds easy and it sounds a little cheesy. It actually comes with its fair share of challenges. To begin with, individuals who experience a low self-esteem may not value every part of their character. If I'm honest, I have low self-esteem days. I'm sure you do too. And so that allows that creep factor to come in and pull us away from kind of how we're aligning ourselves in the world. It pulls us out of our harmony. And it may allow certain things in our personality to bring us down. Maybe you don't like your tummy. Maybe you don't like the way that your voice sounds. Maybe you're not excited to get up in the morning, and just little things begin to creep, and they pull at you, and they pull you apart into pieces so that you're not that unified whole anymore. And they may even allow things to create this imbalance in you within your psyche. It pulls you out of harmony. But to kind of begin to accept all aspects of your personality, to begin to live in harmony with yourself, you have to be willing to put in the work. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you is you don't just show up in harmony. You work at it every day. So I've jotted down 3 quick steps that might help you begin to implement to make this transition easier. So the first thing I'd like for us to kind of think through is how to make your flaws work for you. So I know a lot of people don't talk about making your flaws work. People want to, let's say, oh, lift up your strengths. Lift up your strengths. Your weaknesses won't be so good. But I'm a little bit different. I want us to think about our flaws and how they can work for us. We all have them. There's no denying, there's no getting around the fact that we're not completely perfect creatures. But instead of focusing on those imperfections, why not find a silver lining in them? So, for example, you may have a hard time communicating effectively with others. Instead of wallowing in the fact that you can't orally communicate, or that when you're trying to ask a boss for a raise, or when you're trying to communicate with your child and it's not going so well, instead discover creative ways to express yourself. So what I have found in my work is some individuals find comfort in writing, in drawing, and then by expressing it differently, then sometimes the words follow. This provides an outlet to speak for themselves without feeling judged. I sometimes will work out phrases in the car, and I'll just put a record on my phone, and I'll listen to how things sometimes seem, because sometimes it sounds really good to me. And then when I say it, sometimes interactions don't go so well. So I am finding creative ways to think about how I'm showing up, how my flaws are working for me. Another idea is, there's someone in my life that wears all black because she feels like black just makes her look skinnier. But I'm trying to remind her that she just feels like she's going to a funeral all the time, right? So maybe instead, those parts of your body that you don't actually like, find some creative ways that will make you feel better when you look at yourself in the mirror. So that's just one idea. Make your flaws work for you. We can talk about that later if you want some help with that. Another thing that I speak a lot about, joy and gratitude, but there's also the practicing of acceptance and gratitude. There are just some flaws, let's face it, that take some time to work out. And this is where practicing acceptance comes into play. If you find yourself obsessing over your so-called awkwardness or your inability to make friends, perhaps it's time to reshift your focus. Accept who you are. You have to remind yourself that there are billions of people on this planet. And if everyone had the same personality, do you think it would be interesting? No, it would be terrible. Therefore, understand that your uniqueness, it contributes to the diversity that's found here. Next, maybe find something to be grateful for regarding your flaws. If you don't think you're social enough, perhaps find a reason to be proud of that trait. This will help you enhance your self-esteem without feeling the need to compare. My third step in this little quick harmony thing is improve what you can change. So notice we've talked about the first thing is learning to make your flaws work, and then practicing acceptance and gratitude. And then my third little helpful tip would be improve what you can change. So if you have the ability to change something about yourself, I always encourage you to make an effort to do so, because this will contribute to feeling completely balanced and harmonious. Now notice I don't say work on it so that you're the perfect magazine self or the epitome of what someone else thinks. It's all about you feeling balanced, you feeling in harmony. We all have to work towards self-improvement and progression. And without putting forth any kind of effort, reaching that level of inner harmony, honestly, it's impossible. So therefore, do whatever it takes to meet your goals. It's important that with this step specifically, don't do something to appease others, though. All right. That directly contradicts harmony and self-love. Instead, do it for yourself, reap the benefits, even if it's a teeny tiny baby step. Baby steps will get you far if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And although accepting all aspects of yourself can seem challenging, I promise it's well worth the effort. You'll begin to notice a complete shift in how you view and speak about yourself, how others receive you, how you show up in the world. Simple tasks like talking to people or meeting work deadlines, they start to seem seamless when you practice harmony. I know that if you put these tips and tricks into practice, you'll begin reaping the benefits of living in harmony with your own self. And the you in yourself will feel better and better and better. So, hi, Blenda. I'm glad that you jumped on, and Wendy's here. So, I'm going to add my names now for those of you that came in live and talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing here. So, we're going to add Lexi. If you don't know about the Riffle Raffle app, when you're giving away stuff, you just can put somebody's names in there and it does it for you. So, it keeps things on the up and up. And let's add Belinda in here. So glad that you were all here together. So I'm starting a thing that actually talks about harmony and self-love next week called Habitual Happiness, which every week we kind of unlock a habit to try to keep joy as the most important thing in front of us in the world. And I thought it would be fun for those of you that showed up live. So thank you for taking this 11 minutes out of your day to hear about being in harmony with one another. If I gave one of those away, and Habitual Happiness, it's 6 weeks long. It's a self-paced program. I'll be live every week, but you don't even have to be on every week. And it comes with a workbook and all these things. It even includes a private coaching session and small group support, your workbook, your ebook, and it's all about goal setting strategies to help boost our happiness with actual things that I've done myself. Like I've done all of this that kind of brought me up. It's taken me a couple of years, and I thought it might be fun to do it together. So I want to give one away to one of you lovely ladies. And if you want more information, I'll put the link into Habitual Happiness and a special code. So it won't be $699. It'll be $299 instead. So let's start the raffle. Let's see what we got. And boom, Blenda, you won. So Blenda, I'm going to send you details on how to jump into the program because we start next week. And if you don't want to do that, you can gift it to someone else in your circle, but I'll follow up with an email. The rest of you, let me know if you're interested in that. And again, don't let Cupid distract you this week. Be about yourself, love yourself, and I will see you soon. Take care.